Okay, we have a 2017 Toyota GT86 here. We're installing AeroCatch hood pins. I've already gotten started with this install, so let me bring you up to speed on what needs to be done to properly install AeroCatch pins. First and foremost, find a suitable spot and how you want to orient your pins. For this one, I had to locate the pins, drill a hole, and install the actual pins themselves on both sides. Make sure they're symmetrical because you will know at the end, because it'll look nasty if you do not. Alright, and I've already gone ahead with the step, so I use anti-seize. Put a dab right on the tip, just like that, on both sides, and then press the hood down to make a mark. Now this already had a pre-existing hole here, and the pin slipped right through, just like that. I don't know if you can see that mark where the grease or the anti-seize was, but you see that bright silver mark, bright silver reference mark, just like that, transferred over. That'll come in handy later. So now what we're going to do is we're going to enlarge the holes. Yep, we're going to enlarge the holes. That way we can work around the AeroCatch's housing itself. Before I get too far ahead of myself here, I'm going to tape off where we're going to drill through the top layer of carbon itself. And this will make our guide for how to place the actual AeroCatch housings themselves. Alright, here's the scary part. We're going to drill through the carbon now. Now that we've drilled through the carbon, you can see that we have our two guide holes here and on the other side. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our AeroCatch housings. You can see, here they are, your average AeroCatch housing. Opens up just like that, and you see the opening for which the pin goes through, right there. What we're going to do is we're going to mark out its center position. But first, before we do that, we need to verify that the pin is centered in the hole. Alright, looks like you can see the very top of the pin. Same way on the other side. So we can continue with what we're doing now. Okay, now that we know our pins and our holes are all concentric, we can mark the location of where the AeroCatch pin's going to be, or the AeroCatch housing. Looks like crap, but that's where we start. Now let's get the other side. What we're going to do is we're going to take the frame of the AeroCatch and we're going to outline it. We're going to take this section of the AeroCatch, we're going to line it up with these holes. Next, have to carefully rough out the holes before we go any further. Our weapon of choice today is a 38mm hole saw. We're going to start with that. It's a little smaller than total diameter. that we've got these two primary holes cut, let's do the tail side. So what I'm going to use for this is a Christmas tree bit. Okay, now that those are there, the holes are drilled, now it's time to start cutting it out with a Dremel. Here we go. Okay, now that we have this one installed, now we got to do the other side. We can leave that there right now. We can mark out our holes. Now we can get to that side. Okay, so now we have both housings in. That took a lot of effort, but all we got to do now is drill the holes for the lower housings. All right, let's play a little game here. If everything you did is correct and you measured and lined everything up properly, your pins should just slip right in, right through. Slip right in. Slip right in. That's the hard part done. Now we can finish it all up. Okay, now that you guys see that those are lined up and I have my marks for the lower frame or the retainer for the AeroCatch housing, this one I haven't marked yet, but let's go ahead and drill those through. All right, now that we've got those holes drilled, let's pull these things back out. At this point, we can take away the masking. We don't need that anymore. Now would be a good time to wipe this down really quick too. All right, now the AeroCatch lower retainer itself has its own captured lock nuts. It all comes in the kit, so you have to actually press these into the bottom of the retainer. Somehow, I'm going to try to get this into there with the hole being like that. If I manage to pull it off, it'll be a really clean look. Especially when you've got a hood popped up. The last thing anybody wants is to pop their hood and next thing you know there's nasty looking holes from when somebody hacked the hood trying to install AeroCatch. As you see guys, it can be done. You just have to be very, very careful with it. See, it's all one piece, it's not cut, it's slipped through in there. And now, we try to get it all together. Okay, so I've got these two started. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have them pull the bracket up. And then I'll put the rest in. Okay, now you see, once everything's been pulled together, Let's take a look underneath the hood. Nice clean install. Well, that'll get cleaned up still, but it's not some big hacked up hole that compromises structural rigidity. Because remember, this does become part of your hood at this point. Now let me just finish the other side, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all said and done. Okay, now we've got all the screws in. You can see they're all in there. And that is as big of a hole as we're gonna make. Right there. No need for any more unnecessary roughness on the hood. Because remember, we're trying not to take too much material out. Now what we have to do is we have to adjust the pin height. There we go. Okay guys, now that everything's all wrapped up, we have the pin height adjusted, and we've got the rubber dampers there. Everything's a nice clean install. There you go. Doesn't look out of place. Time to see where it goes. Oh, look at that. Let's first close the latch. There you go. Press this down, close it off. Press this down, close it off. Job done. There you go. If you like what you saw today in this video, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. And for more updates on anything else that we're doing, please hit that bell notification, or hit that notification bell. Again, thanks again. We'll see you later.